Absheni, we are talking cars. You're probably wondering what the hell is going on. What is all this? I'll try and let you in on it. So we are basically driving down from Johannesburg down to Port Elizabeth, and we started at the nearest engine garage. So the car was completely empty, and as such, we needed to then fill up. So yeah, full tank cost me the amount that's on screen, 1,401 rand and 10 cents. I hope I said that correctly. Let's hope the Jacob Zuma in me did not come out. So anyway, this is where it all starts. In total, we're looking at traveling for like 10 hours. It's about 1,000 kilometers from Johannesburg to PE. So we left late at night from midnight, and I'll tell you why a bit later onwards. So as we're now driving from the N1, well, we're on the N1 South, the roads were quite empty. We were leaving the city of gold and lights, as you can probably see, and it was a very smooth drive so far. It was still well lit and quite bright, so I enjoyed that. I definitely enjoyed that. It also felt a bit safe because, as you should know, traveling late at night is not the safest thing to be doing out there in this day and age. You know, there's spiking that goes on, crime, and so forth. But for the bigger picture, which I'll detail later, it needed to be done. So before we knew it, we drove into our very first toll gate where, because of content, I made an error. I literally drove into the wrong lane, and I had to, ask for the guys behind me to pardon me as I maneuvered and reversed into, to correct my ways. So I needed to correct my ways, and I did eventually. And yeah, we paid for the first toll gate. It was not too expensive, as the cost was, I think, 27 rand, but I'll confirm it on the screen right now or anytime now. So yeah, first toll gate paid. We were clear. Sharp. We drove off the first toll gate, and yeah, the roads were becoming darker and darker because we sort of were leaving the city of lights, or we had left the city of lights, so you could either see other cars on the roads or just illumination from your car. So there was a tactic that I employed, which was, as I approach a bridge, I'd steer off this lane and into another one. But you cannot really see this now because otherwise we're gonna spend 10 hours taking a video, which wasn't gonna make any sense. I'm trying to keep this as short as possible as well. Well, we'll see if that works out for me, because I do tend to go a bit overboard. But don't be bored. See what I did there? Okay, yeah. Anyway, second toll gate. This time around, I drove into it like a boss. Didn't make any mistakes. I did not flinch. I made sure I was prepared. And yeah, man, kaching. 89 rands later, we're off the Val Plaza. So I think this is in and around the Val area. So definitely you are hitting the south. N1 South to PE, Cape Town, and so forth. Sharp. We took off nicely, and the roads were still quite clear. We did not hit any potholes. We did not see any accidents. We did not struggle with anything so far. There were a bit of roadworks here and there where a double lane turned into one, but there was no traffic and so forth. So yeah, we made it to the second engine garage, where we also decided that no, we are safer if we fill up, because we don't necessarily know if that garage is that where we were headed to. So we topped it off. It was 321 rand and 30 cents. And yeah, so I needed something to also keep me awake, because when you are excited about going for a trip, you can't sleep the night before. And since we left at midnight, I only slept for like 2 hours, so didn't want any energy drinks or so forth. So I opted for just one of these bars that would then just give me a bit of something to sort of hang on to up until we do a driver change much later onwards. So yeah, that's what I grabbed, and that's what I paid for myself. Struggles of not having a blesser. And you are the blesser. Eish. Yeah, life is no therefore. Neither does it have any guarantees. So yeah, you'll see that. And then yeah, I then needed to then hit is it called the loo, even though it's for men, the loo or the toilet, either or. That's where I quickly went into, and eased myself. That sounds wrong. It doesn't sound right. I didn't need to ease, but you just needed to pee. I don't know if that qualifies. But anyway, I'm just thinking of a whole lot of crazy things in my mind. And yeah, so anyway, back onto the roads. We came out. Everything was still good to go. Tires were fine. The full tank was there. The car was behaving accordingly. And once again, we hit off, driving nicely. Yeah, the car not missing any beat. It was very good, and it was a full load, with bags and all that. So very stable on the road, dry roads, easy, seamless. So we were heading off to Bloemfontein. So yeah, we continued driving, continued soldiering on, and you can probably see that okay, it's getting a bit later on. Sunrise was sort of like waiting there in front from me. At some point, it felt like it was just behind me, which was a crazy thing to actually observe. But then we kept on driving. We then hit the third toll gate, and yeah, once again we had no issues with this one. There wasn't traffic whatsoever, no issues at all. Just one lane open, and it was easy. I drove into this one just like a boss once again. Boss moves these are. Actually, I'm not too sure about the amount. I'll try and check it for you, and then I'll leave it there. Up until then, we started hitting off the road. So you will then notice that okay, fine, it's becoming clearer. It's becoming, the sun is rising, and you can now see properly where you're going, which is where it gets really exciting now, because you can see the landscape, you can see in and around the roads, which is exactly what you need on a long road trip, just to avoid any unexpected punctures. And just, yeah, you never know what goes on at night, crime and so forth. I touched on that, or did I? I'm not too sure. So yeah, we kept on driving. I was enjoying the drive. It was a beautiful long stretch of road. I wasn't bored. The playlist was on fire as well. And once again, it was filled with engine garages. So we drove into another one, and we filled up once again. So the total cost came up to 595 rand. And yeah, kaching. It looks swiping, 95 fuel octane. And yeah, no, she looked beautiful and kept on going. So in between, I sort of like slept and somebody was driving, so I didn't have an opportunity to drive. No, the next thing I figured out, we were into the next stop, which was a Shell garage, where we filled up again for 427 rands and 20 cents. So this was the last garage stop that we made. We were good to go from here onwards. I think we were in East London, or the border. Is it a border? I'm not sure. The board indicated it. I'm not too sure. I stand to be corrected. And once we were here, now all you could see were these beautiful stretch of roads. It was so nice to drive on these roads. Okay, so now back to the story as to why we left very early or very late, depending on how you look at it. The idea was to use the first day of check-in as the first day to sightsee. So as opposed to leaving really early and getting there quite late and then just checking in and sleeping, the idea was to rather drive throughout the night, get there really early, and use the first day to explore and see what PE has to offer. I don't know. What do you think about that? I think that was genius. Yeah, anyway. So we ended up we checked into our place. I sadly do not have any footage of that because, yeah, shame, the young man was quite tired. But then I'll share just one snippet where you can get to actually see, enjoying what we came here for. And this then concludes the end of our road trip. I hope it was fun. Well, it definitely was fun to me. We had a great time. It was easily one of the best experiences that life has to offer. Thank you so much. I hope to see you on the next one. Sharp, sharp.
This is Brazil. Like a chum, like a hey.